I just want to fuck bad bitches for all the nights I never had bitches. True words have never been spoken. The great Dr. Dre. I believe he is now a surgeon. Yeah. Just want to fuck bad bitches for the nights I never had bitches. So this is a theme that is brought up actually by my friend at Poole University, Ephraim, who is in a very interesting spot at the moment. He's left a girl that he was super attracted to, who didn't mind him playing the field, and so he had the ideal setup for himself. He could go around getting whichever chicks he wanted, and he still had this comfort girl to go back to, who he really liked as well. So he's in this amazing scenario, and he realizes, fuck, this is too comfortable, this is too easy, my career's stagnating, I'm not happy with where I'm at, I just need to burn the boats, and I need to go out and fight my way through the ocean again and set sail onto the ocean again, because there's so much more out there than this comfortable little life, even if there's plenty of batty around, which is all great. But yeah, and so that's the phase he's in right now. So I'm just going to speak to that because it's a phase I've been through myself, which is leaving girls, leaving relationships, even leaving places, countries, for various reasons. And these are girls that like you would have dreamt of, you know? These are girls like your literal dream girl. You fucking leave her because you go, shit, this isn't the life that I want. This is not the life that I want. Yeah, it's a weird place to be. It's a weird place to be. So I've been there probably 4 or 5 times in my life. And it's almost like each time I level my life up, then I meet a girl on that level and I have something with her and I maybe even fall in love with her. And then I realize, oh fuck, this isn't the right thing. Break it off, or they sometimes break off with me or whatever. But it's usually been that pattern because I'm ascending. I'm ascending slowly but surely, and I'm accelerating at the moment. Yeah, I'm about to go into an acceleration phase this next 18 months. But yeah, you're ascending basically, and you just realize you need to be focused in order to do that. And it's yeah, for some guys, you just got to burn the bridges, burn the boats, and get going again. And I think it's the right thing to do. And excellence requires sacrifice. Excellence requires sacrifice. But yeah, it's that's like no shade on the women either. It's in a way it's their own naivety, because you want a sex life, you want to approach, you want to go around your life, and any normal guy wants to see a girl on a more regular basis. It's normal, right? It's normal. And yeah, but things can get too comfortable. You can realize I don't even have the life that I want yet. So how am I actually going to keep this person around? How am I going to keep this person around? What am I even offering? You know, what kind of nest am I offering this person? And the answer is, at 24, you're not. So yeah, this is I'm just thinking back to myself at that age. I just wouldn't have even considered a serious relationship at that age. I didn't even consider a serious relationship after my teenage romance until I was 28 again. And that was what happened in that case. There was, I had this massive barren dry spell, or just minimal spell. I wouldn't say dry, but minimal spell. And then I had health problems for which really was very, very difficult for actually a couple of years. And then when I got back from those, I was like, man, I want to fuck before it's too late. I was 27. So I just kind of started rampaging at 27. And then by 28, just before I turned 29, is when I got together with a girl who, she was, to that point, she was the baddest. No, she wasn't actually, but she was fucking hot. She was fucking hot. I think my first kiss was the baddest girl I'd ever got with to that point, but this girl was unbelievable. She was a stripper, and she was a badsky. She was a cool girl as well. And I had a thing with her. Then I moved to France, and I was working out there. She was coming out visiting. Then I moved back to the UK. I set up my business, and she couldn't be my wing woman in that business. She just didn't have the capacity to. I set her tasks and things like this to do, and she's just unreliable. She was going through some kind of phase. She started using drugs basically, which was a straight. I didn't even know until afterwards, but I should have known given the change in behaviour, because she went from being quite motivated to very unmotivated. But yeah, so that was basically a complete red card. Anyway, even when I found out, I was like, okay, well, that was definitely a good thing I left her. But I remember that relationship because I thought that might be the one. You know, she's a great dancer. Obviously, she's completely unbelievable in the bedroom, and she was a good person as well. But anyway, this was back in the day before. This was back in the day when, you know, you could date a stripper. There were strippers around. Now they're all on OnlyFans and stuff like this. It's different times. It was just a different time. It's only 10 years ago, but it's a completely different fucking world people are living in. Crazy how much that's changed. But I was on this little oasis of pleasure, and I had to leave the oasis and get going again. And I've done the same thing several fucking times. And then even earlier this year and last year, almost like the last 2 years, I've had a girl, like an oasis level girl, who is like even a better body than the stripper, a fucking accountant with the body of a complete porn star. And she was fucking lovely, and she was a good cook, and she was more reliable as well. And I had to, I don't know, instinctively there was something missing. There was things missing. Like, fuck, I have to even leave her as well. Fuck. So I understand this scenario. It's probably going to happen a few times. Probably 3-4 times. It's probably going to be one of several of these scenarios you're going to go through. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Take the breakup on the chin, and feel it. Whatever you feel, you've got to just feel it. Sounds like there wasn't too much, to be fair, in terms of like deep emotions and stuff, but there might have been. But there's no shame in just fucking lying on your bed crying for 10 minutes. It's absolutely fucking fine. It's perfectly normal. And this is how you, as I said, this is how you get over breakups, is you don't try to fucking, hard it out. Nah. You don't obviously, you don't need to go completely demented over it, but you gotta let the emotions flow through you, if you have them. And so, at that age, you're on full throttle. 24. You want to be going through, some girls, but you also want to be full throttle on your work and just building your life, building your experiences, so that when you get to my point, I'm 39, and I'm at what I would describe as the horizon. I'm at the horizon where I can look back and I can go, I've done some shit. And it's a weird scenario, because you look back and there is part of me which is like, if only I knew then what I know now, I could have done this, that and the other. But if I'd known then what I'd know now, I almost couldn't have been asked to do half the fucking crazy shit I used to do in my fucking nightclub fucking years, man. My attitude back then was, I'm the chaos. Hello, my name is Chaos. That was my attitude. And there was something with certain girls, it was like almost like borderline irresistible. Maybe I need to get back to that in my cold approach. But anyway, that's what I was doing. It was fucking destructive. But anyway, so that was what I did for a while. And now I'm on this horizon where I can look back on that in terms of personal life. I can look back on business experiences. I can look back on travel experiences, and I can go, I've got some shit behind me now. Now I'm on this horizon where I can look forward. I can go, well, what are the next mountains to conquer? Maybe it's have a family. Maybe it's get married. Maybe it's move to a monastery. Maybe it's build a massive business. Maybe it's publish a novel. But I'm on this horizon where I can look forward, and like my sort of baseline biology, it's not as crazily addicting as it used to be. Nowhere near. I partly wonder if that's because I've actually lost weight recently. I'm like, have I just lowered my sex drive a little bit. I've still got it, but it's not as fucking burdensome as it was. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm on this kind of horizon where I can look forward to other things. I can kind of go a little bit beyond my biology. But the reason I can go beyond it is because I've already, to at least some extent, satiated it. You know, you're never going to fuck enough girls. You're never going to have enough variety. You're never going to fuck enough hot girls. There's always going to be a girl with bigger tits. There's a girl with a bigger ass. There's girls with whatever. There's always going to be that. There's always going to be that. That's never going to change. But at like, I don't know, at 39, you start to look at it and go, okay, cool. I accept it's never going to change. What do I actually want? You know, so that's an interesting phase you can eventually get to. But I think you've got to sow your wild oats. You've got to actually do some damage, and you've got to live a life before you feel satisfied. Because I think otherwise you're going to end up as a fucking midlife crisis. If I'd got married to my first girlfriend when I was 15, I got married to her like 23 or something, I'm pretty sure I'd be staring at a midlife crisis right now. So yeah, that's another thing to consider as well. So hopefully there's been something useful in that ramble. But yeah, in summary, this is part of life. You know, in the Greek myths, the hero usually stops off at some island where they get serenaded and seduced by a siren, and they fall in love with a siren and all this kind of stuff. And they're all comfortable and they're being seduced, and they say, eventually they say, no, I have to move on. I have to move on. That's what happened to Hercules. He said he went onto an island and he met virtue and vice. And vice was just said, look, I will give you a life of pleasure. You can stay here with me. You can eat all these grapes. You have all these women. You can have a life of pleasure. Yeah? You'll never find any challenge. It's going to be easy. And virtue said to him, I can't promise you that. I can't promise you a life of pleasure. I'll promise you a life of challenge. But when you're done, you have the respect of your fellow men, you have the respect of the gods, you have the respect of yourself. Hercules, being the G that he was, he chose virtue. That's the virtuous life, the life of challenge. It's good enough for Hercules. It's good enough for me. Probably good enough for you as well.